Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Look, Vic been selling me out. Well, Z on CP time. Look, life was lifing and happening, but I'm here. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm here. All right. Emma Viglin and Sam Cedar and the rest of the studio going in on men and manhood and dating and etc. 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 Okay, first let's put it out there. Mr. Z is not defending Fresh and Fit, right? Once again, Mr. Z is not defending Fresh and Fit. I have very serious disagreements with them, right? With the Fresh and Fit crew, which was on Tim Pool. Y'all are going to understand why I'm bringing them up in this conversation if you didn't check out the link already. Um, Once again, I'm not defending Fresh and Fit. I am not defending Tim Pool. That's another person I seriously disagree with. Even in some of this conversation about men and women and intimate relationships, right? So let's make sure that we put that out there before we're labeled, kind of apologists for these weirdos and these people, right? Now, the question is, what planet do these people live on? Right? So Emma Viglin and Sam Cedar from the Majority Report, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are not lefties, are speaking about interview I guess Fresh and Fit did on Tim Pool's broadcast, and their take on dating and relationships, and Emma Viglin and Sam Cedar act like they don't know what the hell is going on, and maybe they don't. Lefties with their weirdo ideals talking about dating and talking about dating in a way that is oppressive to women, I guess, or like where women come out with all the negatives on one end, and men are just frolicking in the sun, having their way with women, particularly like everyday average men, who Tim Pool and Fresh and Fit were speaking about. But once again, when you're on the left, it's like defend women at all costs, no matter what the subject matter is, right? And in a weird way, it actually does come off sexist. You speak about women like they're these like wilted violets, and they're in a toxic world full of like men trying to destroy them. So there's that. And so when they're speaking about what Tim Pool and Fresh and Fit are speaking about, which is like the current dating environment, and Fresh and Fit did bring up the online dating statistics, which once again Sam Cedar and Emma Viglin just like completely dismissed as, oh, those have been debunked. Well, go tell that to Dr. Richard Reeves. Go tell that to who else? Scott Galloway. Go say that to Emma Viglin. Go say that to a whole host of people who have been speaking about the current. Oh man. Okay, let's see. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah, speaking about the current environment for men, right? And then these are not like supremely like right-leaning people, right? So Emma Viglin and Sam Cedar are speaking about this, and they're kind of mocking, and they're not even kind of, they are mocking Fresh and Fit and Tim Pool, and like those people deserve to be mocked, but maybe not on this subject matter. Maybe not, right? It's not just the data. We have women not only corroborating that this is what they want, they are demanding it. Now, what is Mr. Z speaking about? Emma Viglin speaks about like the materialism that Fresh and Fit are speaking about when it comes to women, like it's not a real thing. Right, so they use, Fresh and Fit, Fresh loves Fit, loves to use, Myron loves to use like the Bugatti example. Like if you pull up in your Bugatti with, millions of dollars leaking out your back pocket, the women will go. And like, Emma Viglin being maybe the one-off woman that wouldn't go for that because she sees that as showboaty and like not, not appealing. She speaks like, yeah, no, not me, not any of my friends type talk, right? So all of a sudden she doesn't know who the hell Myron is speaking about. This is when the conversation gets supremely disingenuous. I would like to direct Emma Viglin to Daily Wrap-Up crew, to all of Kevin Samuel's videos, to Obsidian Chat, so you can hear women, not just black women, white women, Latina women, Asian women, all of these people demanding that men walk up to the dating table with millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, with all the material in the world, right? It's not just the Bugatti. The Bugatti represents resource acquisition. It represents competence. It represents wealth. Once again, wealth. Once again, one more time, wealth, status. But when Emma Vigeland is speaking, she act like she don't know what the hell. Who? Not women, not modern women. Modern women have their own money. They're not looking for this. Let me explain this to weirdo lefties that don't get it. Y'all don't get it. Women earn more money. That doesn't mean that they want men equally yoked. They want men that earn even more money. So in other words, a woman that used to earn nothing was okay with a man that earned 30 grand a year. A woman that earns $20,000 a year would maybe be okay with $45,000 a year man, $50,000 a year man. Guess what? Not anymore. The woman that earns 25 grand still wants the man that earns 150 plus. The woman that earns 50 grand wants the man that earns 150 plus. The woman that earns $100,000 wants a man that earns $500,000 plus. Thank you, Trill. Trill said it's complicated. Really? No, Charlie, it ain't that complicated. But when you listen to Emma Vigeland speaks, when you listen to Sam Cedar speak, all of a sudden they don't know what the hell's going on. And it's because they're getting their information from these like handful of weirdo lefty virtue signaling women that when you put the baller dude in front of them, they show you how much they were lying. How many times did we see on Kevin Samuels' channel, Kevin Samuels got those women to backtrack all of that crap that they were saying when they came in the door, like, oh, these men are so oppressive, they're horrible at dating, and then you let that woman talk long enough and she tell you she's in her mid-20s, her man is in his late 20s, he earns $75,000 a year, and that's not good enough for her. All right. That's the problem we're having now, is these people are virtue signaling. They live in their own bubbles. They're around a handful of people that think and move and speak like them. And so when they hear people talking about the dating scene currently, they don't know what the hell we're talking about, or they're virtue signaling and they're pretending like they don't know what the hell we're talking about. Who are these people that would pull up with the Bugatti and they're so showboaty? And what world are you living in, Emma? What world are you living in, Sam? This is the dating world. And by the way, this is not exclusive to urban culture or to black women. White women sounding like this. Latina women sounding like this. Asian women sounding like this. Moving like this. Better yet, let's put it in a better way. Black women sounding like this. Asian women moving like this. White and Latina women doing both. Right? This is the issue we're having. How can we have an honest conversation about the lowering birth rate, young people in this kind of cold war that we have between the sexes, when we continue to do the woe is me for women, and men just want pretty women that they could oppress and dominate over and rule over. Okay, maybe non-black men. I know for black men, particularly black men in the black manosphere, that's not the case. Every time black men in the black manosphere talk to black women about the cooperation, they start telling us about dating non-black men, about them dating non-black men, or how they could do bad all by themselves. In other words, they could be single. So maybe when it comes to white men, maybe y'all have a point. But at least for black men are not looking to step over women. That's black women they date, that's white women they date, that's Asian women they date, that's Latina women they date, that's indigenous women they date. They're not looking to oppress them and rule over them with some iron fists. They're not looking to go back to the 1950s and have her pregnant in the kitchen doing their bidding. And there's data that shows that. Maybe y'all are talking to guys, that's possible. Right? But this talk of like these raving lunatic sexist men who just want to oppress women, I don't know if that's the environment that we're living in currently. Are y'all listening to the women speak? That's much of the issue we're having. Are y'all listening to women speak, or do you just have your ideals in a vacuum. Let the women speak. Don't put words in their mouth. Don't impose your ideals on them, and watch in awe as they pretty much tell you, yeah, men are nothing but walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. And by the way, I'm not even speaking about uneducated women. I'm speaking about educated, well-to-do women, women that are doing okay in life or better than okay in life, and they all still sound the same. The woman that's earning 6 figures a year sounds like the McDonald's worker. They all sound the same when it comes to men and acquiring resources, right? Regardless if she has or if she doesn't have, they all sound the same. And this is something the left, and by the way, I'm going to have to review that FD signifier video. It's coming. This is why the left is struggling with men right now. Because y'all are talking about men like we're stuck somewhere, at least for black men. I don't know about white men, maybe. But at least for black men, y'all are speaking like we're somewhere in the 1970s or 60s or 50s. Are y'all listening to the women speak? Do y'all listen to the women? All that railing against capitalism, they don't mean any of it. Let me say that again, because I know I'm in somewhat of a dead zone, right? All of that railing against capitalism when it comes to men, women don't mean it. At least American women, Western women, because we didn't heard British women sound the same. Some Canadian women sound the same. All that railing against capitalism and all that railing against patriarchy, all of that goes out the window when you start speaking to her about her future spouse. All of a sudden, her actual spouse better be a patriarch, and he better be a capitalist, or trying to be, better yet, right? But when you speak to these people, they act like they don't know what we're talking about, right? They act like they don't know what we're talking about. And you could ask a number of people. You could ask Amio Say Frimpong, that's the funky academic. You could ask him, who else? Christine Ember. You could ask Dr. Green Gorilla. You could ask Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. You could ask Dr. Ron O'Neill. You could ask Dr. Tommy Curry. All these people that do research. Scott Galloway, Richard Reeves. All these people that do research on this type of thing. Because, you know, these people, they won't believe somebody like me. They need to speak to, and Scott Galloway is a lefty. Now what? Amio Say Frimpong is a lefty. Now what? Right? These people will listen to someone like me. They're not going to listen to any researcher that's not left-leaning. These left-leaning researchers are telling you, when it comes to dating and relationships, the women get real hypocritical. The women start backtracking all that crap they said when they were virtue signaling. The women start showing that they didn't mean half of the things they were saying. Not for their individual spouse. It sounds nice when they're virtue signaling and they're giving you their ideals, right up until you tell them, okay, tell me what you're looking for. Oh, I want a man that's kind and sweet and da, 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 da. Oh, okay. What about if he earns only 40 grand a year? Exactly. $45,000 a year. Exactly. So y'all can rail against capitalism. What's capitalism doing this? Yeah, the women don't want to hear none of that. They want it, and they want it now. Unless you're gonna rewrite all of the rules of the economy today, they want what they want, and they want it now. Now what? Right? Now what? And Toya, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right? The women are telling you what it is, and like these lefties are so hard up on protecting a particular image, they act like they don't know, or they don't know. Either way, right? And once again, shout out to AB Media. This is why these people are shredding, or shedding, better yet, shedding men on the left, because we're having disingenuous conversations. What are people but the connections to other people? And we have done a very good job using capitalism and feminism. Yeah, you heard right. To distort the connections between men and women. And normal men and normal women, namely normal men, have to deal with the fallout of that. And then we watch as the left try to make excuses for the environment and for how the women are responding to the environment. You're not even going far enough to say, okay, you know what? Maybe the women are responding inappropriately to the environment. You're not even going there with it. You just, well, it's the men. The men want to put women back in the kitchen. And then you mock these guys, and all you do is drive young boys and men who are going through their plights, because they're talking to these women in high school, or these young ladies in high school. They're speaking to these women in their young adulthood, and they're like, wait a minute, this is nothing like what my mom told me, right? This is nothing like when my aunt told me, when my older sister told me that women would be on. These women aren't sugar and spice and everything nice. These women are demanding that I'm a walking wallet, overglorified guard dog. And that's where my manhood lies. Now what? Right? Now what? Real women are demanding these things, and we have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not a couple million videos to prove that. Right? The materialism, the trips, the extravagant, opulent lifestyle. We're not making it up, Emma. Emma must not know who Fresh and Fit are. There's no way her and Sam Cedar know. Because those two bring women on. Look, Mr. Z is not an apologist for these people. I'm not defending them. I actually don't like them. But a thing is a thing. These dudes bring women onto their channel. Not all the women are from South Florida. Not all of them are from Miami. They're tourists, etc., etc. And let those women speak. And you watch as those women tell you, yeah, I need a baller. Kevin Samuels was interviewing women in their kitchen. These women are in their living room, in their kitchen, in their room, telling you, yeah, I need a baller. And by the way, that's women that could barely rub two pennies together all the way to your PhDs. That's why he had a sound clip, I'm a PhD. Because even your PhDs were saying the same thing. Dear Emma, God damn, you put a microphone in front of these liberal white women, and all of a sudden they don't know what the hell is going on in the world. Ooh, who? Oh, not us. We're not materialistic capitalist monsters. No, that's the conservative women. We're not hypocrites when it comes to resource acquisition. Oh no. Emma's the one woman that doesn't care about these things, and she acts like that's all women. I don't even have to bring black women in front of her. I'll bring no middle of nowheresville white women in front of her, and they'll say the same thing. I don't know what you're talking about. The man in the Bugatti, let me get him. And then listening to them talk about the car, Mr. Z's a automobile head. Listen to them speak about the Bugatti and knowing they're getting the number wrong. Oh, it's a $600,000 car. Yeah, right. You wish. Right now, you can't touch a Bugatti for what, $1.5, $2 million? That's how much you have to spend. And depending on whether you're speaking about the Veyron or the Chiron, and y'all pronounce the goddamn Chiron wrong. It's not the Chiron, it's the Chiron. Right? It's under the Volkswagen Group and it's French made. Well, it's a French company and it's German made. Thank you, Trell. 2.2. 2.2 for a Chiron right now. Right? You like, who are these people talking about? Who are you people? That's the question. Who are you people? Right? You don't have to listen. Once again, fine. You don't have to listen to what Fresh and Fit says. You can use the book The Dating Divide, which was co-authored by lefty women, right? Jennifer Lundquist and Dr. Jennifer Lundquist and Dr. Chantel Buggs. You don't have to use Fresh and Fit, right? You can also speak to Ross Shetty, Scott Galloway, Christine Imba, Richard Reeves, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. Tommy Curry, Dr. Green Gorilla, Dr. Ronald Neal, Amiose Frimpong. We have people, if you need to speak to academics about the current dating environment, and they could put it in the context for you, how the women are sounding and the hypocrisy, and then y'all could try to debate it out and try to use excuses to explain it. We have those people for you to speak to, right? We have those people for you to speak to. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But the worst thing people like y'all do is speak as if y'all don't know what anyone's speaking about, what Fresh and Fit are speaking about. These people have had this channel for some years now, and they can't spin one video or one where they're speaking one of the women on the panel be complete materialistic a-hole. And once again, it doesn't matter her education or her background. It's one thing. This is not about putting women back into the kitchen, removing the vote, dictating who they can marry, etc. That is not where Mr. Z is coming from. That's not where none of my subscribers are coming from. Black men in particular, for the most part, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're asking for. But until we can have an honest conversation about the hypocrisy in the current dating market, then y'all could kick rocks with this, with what y'all saying. It's not real. Right? It's not real. Once again, it begs the question, who are y'all talking about? As I said before, the Bugatti is a status marker. It's really not about the car. It's about the resource acquisition. It's about the wealth. It's about the position in society. And it denotes status. Status, people. Emma act like she don't know what that means all of a sudden. Like women aren't chasing after dudes for status. That they're not more open to a guy with some status. Right? These are some of the most ignorant, most uninformed takes coming from the left. When it comes to intimate relationships, these are some of the most uninformed takes possible. Ignorant. Right? If we have spent the better part of what, 5 decades attempting to get men to be more feminist minded, to be more egalitarian, and we've made progress in that, but all of a sudden no one is speaking to the women about what equality actually means in dating and marriage, you get where we are now. Women want equality right up until it comes time to pay the bills at the home. Right up until it comes time to pay bills at the house. Then they don't want equality anymore. Right up until you tell them, oh yeah, you're going to go 50-50 with your boyfriend. What? You're going to go 50-50 financially with your husband. What? All that equality talk and egalitarian talk sound nice right up until it comes time to start speaking about their individual intimate relationships with the opposite sex. Then all of a sudden, exactly. And I'm telling the left right now, until you can get a hold of this, you're going to shed men, and we're going to turn the two parties into Republican man party and Democrat woman party. And dear black men, don't think that's funny, because there's more women than men, and they vote more, right? What will offset that are the married women that vote in the direction their husband voted. Because these people live in an alternate universe. Like I said, they're stuck in their bubble. These are the same people that did not see Trump winning the 2016 election. These are the same people. They're stuck in their bubbles, smelling each other's farts, bigging each other up about how smart and intelligent they are, and never peer out to be like, wait a minute, what we're saying, does it actually make sense for the average person? Is this how people actually talk and think? Is this how people actually date? Is this how women actually sound? Not what we think they sound like, not just what our friend circle sound like, but what women actually sound like. Right? And these are like supposedly educated people. No wonder y'all don't understand what's going on with men. Men are running into the wall of the women's hypocrisy. Oh, I want equality, and I want egalitarianism, and I want equal pay for equal work, etc., etc. Oh crap! It's time for me to date and get married. I'm in my late 30s. Excuse me, my late 20s, early 30s. Well, we have men offering 50-50. No, I don't want that. But you just said you're for egalitarian and equality and equality between the sexes. Yeah, no, I didn't mean that in this way. Y'all full of it. Y'all are full of it. So once again, we have, Emma Vigeland and Sam Cedar and their production team kind of mocking men because of Fresh and Fit and Tim Pool, which once again, I am not a fan of Tim Pool and Fresh and Fit. It feels weird kind of quasi defending them. I'm not attempting to defend them. But what they're speaking about in the dating scene, and the fact that Emma Vigeland speaking about the dating scene like these women aren't materialistic a-holes. Do you understand? Emma's not too different in age than me. Emma, do you understand the white, Latina, Black, Asian women and their materialism and their consumerism, and the fact that they're demanding a man that provides enough resources for them to play that game at a high level? Do you know what world you're living in? Right? We have so much to corroborate this, from interviews to data. Like I said, you don't have to listen to Z. You don't have to listen to Fresh and Fit. You don't have to listen to Tim Pool. You can speak to the ladies that help to write the dating divide. So they could tell you, yeah, all of these women, that includes women of color, are chasing after white men. And it's mainly because they see white men as patriarch. By the way, all that anti-patriarchy talk go right out the window when it comes time to start dating. Uh-oh. What now, Emma? What now, Sam Cedar? All that anti-patriarchy talk that women speak goes right out the window when it comes time to dating. And you know who they put on the pedestal? White men. Why? White patriarchy. Status of white men. The status of white men. And that's Black women, Latina women, Asian women, indigenous women, and yes, even, of course, white women. Yeah, you heard right. The women want white patriarchy because they want what comes with white men, or what they think comes with white men. The status, the resource acquisition, the money. This is pathetic. And thank you for the super sticker, Afro National. Thank you for the super sticker. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. The money. And as I said, when we have these conversations, oftentimes these kind of virtue signaling kind of people are who these people go to speak to. They're a handful of like friends that occupy that same type of bubble and that same type of thought, right? As a matter of fact, you could even have that conversation with Ola. You could have that conversation with what's her name? Brianna Joy Gray. Brianna Joy Gray kind of understand this also. She kind of broke it down a little bit when she was speaking to Army Osei Frimpong more recently. I think they did an interview maybe a month ago at this point, maybe a month and a half ago. And she kind of broke it down, the type of Kevin Samuels type of conversation, or the fresh and fit type of conversation. But Emma and Sam Cedar, they have their head in the clouds, or they're pretending. Either way. And the reason why that matters is because that there are politicians that listen to them. There's kind of these political talking heads and thinkers that listen to them, particularly on the left. Sam Cedar has been doing this for a very long time. Emma's more relatively new on the scene, but Sam Cedar, oh my God. The Majority Report has been around for what, forever? Lithium, yeah, Katie Halper. If you don't want to speak to the black people, you can speak to Katie Halper. Apparently, who did Katie Halper's mom used to date? One of the famous brothers from like the 60s or 70s. Her mom dated for a little while. Can't remember who it was. Right? But people could tell you what the dating scene is like for men. For regular, everyday men. For 40, 45, 50, 55, $60,000 men. We're not talking about men not taking showers. At least for the black community. I don't know about anyone else. We're not talking about men not taking showers, not knowing how to dress. Right? What we're saying is simply the way we've socialized women over the past 50 years has made them really good students, really good employees, and both of those are maybes, but okay, maybe really good students, maybe really good employees, and horrible wives and girlfriends. Absolutely atrocious. Right? That's what this country and largely the West has been producing for the past 50 years. Women that maybe are good employees, maybe are good students, right? And absolutely atrocious girlfriends and wives. And it's not because, at least for black men, that we're trying to put them back in the kitchen, or we're trying to dictate to them, or no. And if you need evidence of this, I would like to direct you to once again, Daily Wrap-Up Crew, Kevin Samuels, Obsidian, The Raj Report, BGS Immore, Green Gorilla, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. You know what? You can even talk to Rebecca Lynn Pope if you really want to go there. She'll tell these women they were so nice and they're lovely women. And then I sit down with them and start speaking to them about men, and then you're like, oh my God, where did this woman come from? Exactly. Your little sweet, kind friend, when she start talking about men, starts sounding like a sexist, materialistic, a-hole, delusional monster. But Emma don't know what we're talking about. Sam Cedar doesn't know we're speaking. I think isn't Sam Cedar still married? Right. Rest in peace, Michael Brooks. Right. Maybe if Michael Brooks was still alive, maybe he could put some sense in the conversation. Maybe y'all need to speak to Waz. Maybe Waz know what we're talking about. These lefties, they never know. They never know. They never know what we're talking about when we start talking about dating and women's insanity in the dating market. They never know what we're talking about. And this is much of the reason why look, y'all could let me spell out for y'all. This ain't the Barbie movie, okay? Y'all can come up with the maps and the charts and show them. Look, we're creating a system where you can live longer and and then they're like, okay, what about the women? But okay, we're doing this, and then you're gonna be able to live better like this, and then you're gonna have resources. Yeah, what about the women? But exactly. If you're not talking to the men, young men in particular, about what they need to do to be more appealing to the women, and you're not speaking to the women about, not being complete materialistic a-holes, then the men don't want to hear it. You're wasting your breath. I said this when I was working for the Florida Democratic Party. I told my mentor, y'all could come up with the charts all y'all want. All the political wonkiness, all you want. The men not hearing none of that. Young men are not hearing any of that. The women might take to it, the men not hearing any of that. Dear FD signifier, the men are not listening to any of that. What does the money mean without relationships? What does the status mean without relationships? And I know for at least the average black man, it's not about sleeping with every woman possible. For some men, it's about that, but not for most, and not for all. But the left doesn't even try to make a tacit movement. Y'all not even pretending to speak to the women about their delusion, about what equality actually looks like, what it might look like in the dating scene. That 40% of women earn more than their male counterparts already, and what that might mean for women in dating and marriage. You don't even pretend to care and deal with it. Then you don't even pretend to care. Then deal with it. It doesn't matter what dating website we go on to. It doesn't matter. The women are telling you straight up. Even when you control for certain variables, the women are telling you straight up, yeah, status and money. And the left is like, yeah, no, well, that's not what she said. Yeah, that is what she said. Well, that's not what she meant. Well, yeah, that is what she meant. What did you mean? I meant what I said. Okay, so that's what she said. Now what? right? All the evidence we have, and these people still speak it like they don't know. And that lets you know how much in their bubble they are. That lets you know how much in their bubble they are. See, FD Signifier knows better. That's why he kind of tried to stray away from the dating scene, because then he's gonna have to get critical about the women, and he ain't gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He's gonna get kicked out of that circle with him and Kim Foster and Khadijah and the like. So he kind of tried to stray away from the dating conversation. But Sam Cedar and Emma went right into it. I'm like, wait a minute, who the hell are y'all talking about? Are we talking about heterosexual men and heterosexual women? Because the heterosexual women are sound like materialistic a-holes. You let her talk long enough. You let her talk long enough, and you be like, wait a minute. I thought you said initially you didn't care about status like that. See, the initial comments would be like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm looking for a good man, someone stable, and someone that knows how to wash their ass, and an adult." And you keep on letting her talk long enough, and I want to go on 5 vacations a year to Maui, to France, to Japan, to Tokyo, right, to Shanghai. Right? And it became so evident to me that they didn't know what they were speaking about when Sam Cedar made the little joke about, next time when he gets a new car, when it's time to update and upgrade his car, he's gonna get a Subaru with a sunroof next time, And I'm just like, bro, you really don't get it. And I'm not saying that y'all are not looking for the wholesome marriage and relationship, but these other women, their definition of wholesome is baller. You want to know why the women are so angry with the dating scene? Because they're delusional, and the left refuse to acknowledge and then work on the delusion. You talking about a Subaru with a sunroof, most likely a Subaru Forester with a Subaru Legacy with the sunroof? These modern women will laugh you right out the room, Sam. And that includes some of your well-meaning Jewish women. They will laugh you right out the room, Sam. Wait, you ain't pull up with no E-Class Benz? No Audi A4? No 5 Series Beamer? Not even a Cadillac? Right? Okay, at least a Genesis. No? And we're not saying all. Let's be very clear. Let's moment of sanity. We're not saying all women, but way more than you think, Sam. I'm not even going to address Emma. I think she was being supremely disingenuous. I'm not even going to address her in this part of the conversation. Thank you, Charles. Stable means paying for a nanny, housekeeper, and nutritionist. And they'll hear Mr. Z say that and be like, "Oh hell no, no, there's no way." Yes, way. And it's not only a handful of women either talking like that. And it's not just urbanized women speaking like that. It's not just conservative women speaking like that. And I think that's where the left mess up, where the right gets it, is the right acknowledges that the women are hypocritical as hell when it comes to intimacy, relationships, sex, resource acquisition, and masculinity and manhood. The right actually says, you know what, we know they lying their ass off. But here's where the right messes up. The right gives men not answers, right? Things that feel good as answers. The left, on the other hand, pretends like they don't know what the hell, or they actually don't, which might be even more frightening, what the hell the young men and the boys are speaking about. The left acts like the women aren't hypocrites when it comes to dating. Like they might mean everything they say right up until it comes time to date and marry that same type of man that they advocated for the system to produce. I want a man that acknowledges me and we're equal and yeah. How about something go bump in the night and we equally pull out our guns and go downstairs? Oh, what happened? Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Huh? Ain't no Mr. and Mrs. Smith now, huh? The left refuses to acknowledge the fact that the women are like, yeah, I want to be captain of industry. I just want a man that earns even more. So if I'm lead attorney, he has to be one of the board members. If I'm one of the board members, he has to be one of the owners of the company, one of the investors. If I'm a teacher, he has to be a principal. Right? The left refuses to listen. Just all you have to do is just listen to the women speak. Don't put words in their mouth. Don't try to lead them in a particular direction. Just let them speak and let them speak long enough. We have black women straight up telling you, yeah, I'd rather date a racist white man for 4 months than be single for 6 years. Translation, I would rather date the racist white man. At least I get some status from dating a white dude than be single for 6 years. You want to know the hypocrisy of women? Look at Jenny Mai. Married to the white man, white meat for the main course, black meat for the side. Ended up with the white man, was a total terror to him, pretty much admitted it. They divorced, ended up with young Jeezy, now she having a kid. The same woman that told you, yeah, I don't ever want to have children. Now what? And BGS's myth of white womanhood. Exactly. We have a whole bunch of liars and fronters in the dating scene. And Emma and Sam Cedar, it's easy to mock. And I agree. Who said Fresh and Fit a horrible, representation of the red pill space? We have so much evidence of what the women are actually saying. And then when Emma and Sam Cedar start speaking, all of a sudden they don't know what we're talking about. And people with similar mindsets to them are principals and teachers and work for the school board, obviously are parents. And so when their sons talk to them about how horrible the dating scene is, they don't know what we're talking about. Oh, it was like that for me, son. What are you talking about? You just got to get out there. Work on your charisma. Go to the gym. Meanwhile, gym bros are telling you, yeah, I got a little bit better, but it ain't what you think. And the reason why this matters is because if it's just 1% of your society or your population that thinks like that, 5%, 10, starting to have issues now. 20, 25. All right. That's why it matters. On an individual basis, what individual people might be going through in the dating scene may not matter. But when going through too much in the dating scene means that you're going to be a monk for a few years, maybe indefinitely, guess what? That affects your population now. That's when the Ebony K. Williams come out with her goddamn vials of sperm infomercial. And remember, I covered the professor, the white professor, speaking about this with white women, Jewish women, Latina, and Asian women. So Ebony K. Williams is not the only one. It's not just a black woman thing. First of all, most black women can't even afford it. From beginning to end, to thawing out frozen eggs and all of that stuff, whether it's the sperm or the egg, you're looking at a 10 grand process at the least. Most likely more like 20 grand, $20,000. So the vast majority of black women, you already kicked them out of the conversation. And if this is what the left represents politically, well, Katie bar the doors, because you're just gonna keep on shedding men. If the left is gonna be the sanctuary for delusional women, then fine then. And we're particularly speaking about heterosexual and straight women. Right? That's probably not smart. All right, yo. We'll pause right here. Just looked behind me and a truck was pulling a trailer and the wheel just snapped on them practically. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror and the guy damn near put his head under the wheel well. And I'm like, that's not so. I don't want to witness your truck falling on your head, sir. Right? That's the selfishness in Z. I'm like, I want you to be safe, but also I don't want to have that trauma. Please and thank you. I do not want to go to sleep thinking about the fact that your truck fell on your head while I was looking in the rearview mirror. Right? Can we not do that, please? Can we not, Yeah. So, to end out, I might actually come back with a part 2 to this. And I might actually add another video. Because we have lefties kind of speaking about this already. Like I said, the Wisecrack covered this. Majority Report is now covering. For those of you that didn't check out the link in the description, Majority Report is now checking out, a Tim Pool interview with Fresh and Fit, and they're having this conversation. And the Majority Report cast act like they don't know what the hell is going on, or they actually don't know what's going on, which might even be more frightening, right? Yeah. And BGS, yeah, I'm gonna need you to do me a solid, BGS, if you're still in here. It's going down, BGS. The left is finally, and you know how they say, when at first they ignore you, yeah, they're not ignoring anymore. Now the left is pretty much telling us it's a figment of our imagination. So y'all get ready, because the next chapter, I guess, of the Black Manosphere is going to be going to war with the left. So we had to tell the tradcons to go kick rocks. The left act like they didn't know who the hell we were for the longest. Now they're acknowledging they know who we are, or maybe they're acting like they don't know who we are still, but they're at least acknowledging the talking points and the rhetoric. But they're just going to tell us, yeah, it's not that serious. I don't know what y'all are talking. Look, man, the vast majority of men are not gay. We're not bi. Y'all can cut the crap with that. Where are you going with this, Z? That's how they speaking, right? Like, is it really about women? Yes. Yes, actually, yes. BGS said it's going to be a short war. Right? Was it a 7 days war? Right. So now they're acknowledging that we exist, or at least that our rhetoric exists. but then they're telling us it's a figment of our imagination, and the women don't actually want what the women are telling us that they want. That's the thing. That's why I have to ask Emma, what world are you living in? The question isn't what women are we speaking about. The question is what world are you living in? 6 Day War. Okay, 6 Day War. Right? What world are you living in? So, I'll pause right there, truly. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um, y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, right? And I think BGS is streaming later on, so y'all check out BGS. And we'll pause right here. We'll pick up the rest of this conversation. I might throw another video or two in the description box for the next one, so y'all can see. The left is slowly admitting that they know, this is a thing. But I guess what they're gonna do is tell men, well, isn't it really just you trying to be, aren't you just a misogynist? Aren't you just sexist? Don't you just want to be a patriarch like, our forefathers? I don't know what our forefathers they're talking about. They talking about white men, but they ain't talking about black men. Patriarchy where? Right? So truly we'll pause right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.